welcome to the official premiere of Let's Cook, Let's Chat with India Sweet. If you were here for our pilot episode last year, it was received so great that we officially decided to do the show. I know I was gone for a minute, but that's because I had to give birth and make sure I nurture this little girl, my precious little angel, Stella Christine. She's just a mere 9 weeks old, so I had to take a little break off to, birth that big old baby that I had. And now we are back. Enough about me. Okay, let's get started for today. We're doing a delicious recipe called Orzo New Orleans. Orzo is a little fine grain pasta. Some people mistake it for rice at first, but it's a little tiny goodness. And it has shrimp in it, and it has some sausage, and it is really, really good. Just in time for Valentine's Day. If you're going to be in like me, because when you have 4, 2, and a newborn, crazy, I know, Valentine's Day is spent with the entire family. Okay, so let's get started. First, we're going to start out with 2 tablespoons of extra virgin olive oil. Turn the pan on to about a medium heat. And for our sausage, okay, today I'm using a pork kielbasa. You can use turkey if you like. The only thing I'll say is be careful. Make sure you have enough oil in your pan because unlike the pork sausage, turkey sausage has no extra fat on it at all. So you don't want your pan to dry up and your sausage to soak up all the oil, unlike the pork sausage that's going to exude just like all kinds of goodness all over your pan. I do turkey sausage too, but right now, when we go Creole, to me, pork is always the best. Okay. So this is 1 package, about 12 ounces. If you do loose sausage, probably about 3 sausages. So we want to put these in first and brown them up nicely. Because later on, when we put our orzo and our stock into the pan, we want to make sure it's nice and brown so the sausage doesn't get soggy and juicy. There's nothing worse than a soggy sausage. All my sausage, I don't do sausage, be it turkey or whatever. I'm a bacon girl. Yes, I eat bacon. I don't always do bacon, but when I do, it's Wilshire Farm Whole Foods Butcher Block Bacon. OMG. It'll change your life. Anyway, I was going to say, I don't like soggy sausage. I hate people who boil sausage. That drives me nuts. It goes in the oven or it goes on the countertop. Okay, so we are going to let that sausage brown up. And while that's browning, this past weekend was the Grammys. So let's chat a bit. Now, I love the Grammys. Music's biggest night of the year. It's always fun to see the mashups and who they, put together. Last year, Imagine Dragons and Kendrick Lamar was one of my favorite performances ever. I still would just go to YouTube just to listen to it sometimes. So this year, AC/DC opened up the show. Highway to Hell is kind of always a little bit fun, a little bit racy, but it's wow, the songs are good to hear. Is there ever a point where it's okay, we're kind of done? It's, when you're 75 years old and you're still trying to rock out. I guess there's no age limit on rock and roll. But that kind of seemed to be the trend of the night. Then our girl Madonna, I tell you, she comes down the red carpet with, let's just say, bottomless pants on. Well, chaps, actually. And it's Donna, you can still do it. That just doesn't mean you should, It's nobody wants to see that walking down the red carpet. If you want to put it in a book, okay, then people can look at their own risk. But when you walk down the red carpet like that, we have no choice. And that's just not fair to everybody. I love you, but seriously, you give a girl hope that at 56 she can still rock it like that, but maybe in the privacy of your own home, because that's seriously. Anyway, but that's what she does. She pushes the envelope. I don't know. Then Smokey Robinson came up there, and I tell you, Smokey is one of my all-time, Motown type greats. You gotta love Smokey. He's so smooth, but he others is a cautionary tale of plastic surgery. Just no. No, don't mess with your face. If you want to get your boobs, if you want to get your tummy, if you want to get your butt done, I don't judge. It's fine. But when you start messing with your face, it usually, 9 times out of 10, it does not end up well. I mean, Smokey looks so cool. He has the constant deer in the headlights look, and his forehead like expands about 1.5 miles long. It's just not, it's not a good look. I just don't, I don't get it at all. And then Jamie Foxx came out with Stevie Wonder because they are honoring him next week on CBS. I want to say February the 16th, which will no doubt will be a great show because Stevie Wonder has hits, okay? But I noticed when he came out and he played the harmonica with Usher, and then when he came out with Jamie, that when everybody gave him a standing ovation, it's like, does Usher or Jamie Wisworth, they're standing up for you? I mean, because I'm not trying to make a joke. I'm serious. Like, how does he know he's getting a standing ovation? Because it sounds the same. I mean, you could really get loud sitting down. You know what I mean? So does somebody have to, like, whisper to him? I don't know. I know. The things that go on inside my head is joining it. Okay. So we are going to get this sausage to brown up nicely. We're going to add 2 large cloves of garlic. I always use my grater. You can chop it, or even if you have one of those little compartments that you put it inside and it says chop, chop, chop. Heads of garlic. I have one of those. I have something of everything around here. But for some reason, after like 2 or 3 uses, I can never find it. It's like the black hole in this kitchen. You know how you always lose that one sauce? I'm always using kitchen utensils. I don't get it. Okay. Now, that's going to cook up rather fast. But you just want to put your garlic in before you put your shrimp in because the shrimp emit their own type of moisture. And again, like you don't want to boil the sausage, you don't want to boil the garlic. Okay, so just stir it around just so the garlic can get nice and aromatic and saucy. Oh, beautiful. Okay, and then you want to add a dozen shrimp. This is like a 31-40 count. You don't want big jumbo shrimp for this meal because your orzo is small. So if you have these humongous shrimp in the little pasta, it doesn't make for a nice easy bite. Okay. Nice. All right. That is beautiful. And now you want to add about a tablespoon or so of your Creole seasoning. My favorite is Cajun Choice because no MSG, first of all, and it's not a lot of salt in it. It's just Creole goodness. Nice. Okay, let these shrimp cook up. Okay, so finishing off on the Grammy wrap-up, my favorite performance of the night was by far Common and John Legend with Glory. If that song does not fill you with spirit, with hope, with cause, I don't know what will. And they were phenomenal. Beyonce sung, and I thought she did an amazing job. Everybody was upset because Ledisi didn't sing the song because she portrayed Mahalia Jackson in Selma and she was supposed to sing it. But you know what? Don't forget that Beyonce is Southern Texas Baptist, okay? So she has soul, and she proved it Sunday night. The only thing is when she won the award with Jay-Z for Drunken Love, I really wanted them to go on the stage together because I'm like, this is their first time winning an award together. Like, oh my gosh, we're going to see them. And then they kiss, but she goes up there. I'm like, seriously? Like, just give us something. Give us some breadcrumbs, guys. But that brings me to the last part of the night, the crazy part. Kanye West had done so good with his performance, I mean, it made me cry. He's speaking the song from his mother's point of view, and after recently losing my mom, I mean, it was a powerful performance, and I'm thinking, oh my gosh, Kanye, thank you. Like, this is what we want from you. This is what we want. Then Beck wins Best Album, and then what happens? You see Kanye going up on the stage, and it was like, oh my God, everybody just like, it was a moment frozen in time. I think for every person there, every person watching, every person, every producer, the producers were probably crapping their pants backstage and up in the audio booth like, oh my God, what is he doing? He stops, he says, go ahead, he turns back. We all think it's a joke. We all think it's a nice joke. But then, on E, a little bit later on, we find out, no, it was not a joke. Kanye really was upset that Beck had won and felt like, went on this whole crazy rant that the Grammys aren't respecting people and their whatever. I'm like, oh my gosh, he's lost it again. Beck should have given, if he was a true artist, he should have given the award to Beyonce. And you get so caught up watching Kanye that you forget to watch Kim, who's sitting there holding the microphone like, okay, smile. Like, oh my God, he's going crazy. He's having a rant, but I have to be his wife and I have to be supportive. So I felt so bad. Like, does she keep it real with him when they go and say, look, dude, you wonder why they think you're crazy? That's why. Or does she just sit there, oh, Kanye, you know, you're right. I mean, you can tell he dressed her, and he dresses her now, which is weird in and of itself. Sorry, just is. I don't know. It's just weird. I mean, God bless her. I don't know how she does it. Okay, so we want our shrimp to cook up nice and meaty. Now that our shrimp are nice and cooked, we're going to add 2 cups of orzo. I get mine from Whole Foods, of course. I love orzo. Alright. And we're going to stir it around in the pan, get a nice little coating on it. Take up all that goodness before we put the white wine in. It's so nice. Alright. So when that's nice and cooked, you don't want to do it too long because you don't want it to burn, but you just want it to get a nice little coat, almost like your pilaf. Okay. We're going to get our white wine here. And you're going to do about 2.5 cups. I'm sorry, 2/3 of a cup. We do not want 2.5. You will be drunk by the time you finish this. So no, sorry, 2/3 of a cup. There we go. And you're going to just deglaze the pan a bit so all that goodness from the bottom of the pan comes up and into the food. So delicious. Okay, and it's not going to take long because you're going to want your wine to reduce just a bit. Stir it up. Okay, so I know everybody is finished talking about the Super Bowl, but you know what? I'm sorry, I never got my chance, so I'm not going to spend a lot of time on it. But after a week of thinking how it was the worst play call in Super Bowl or football period history, for Pete Carroll to throw the ball and, not punch it in with Marshawn Lynch, he was on the Today Show with Matt Lauer, and he said something very poignant, that he wouldn't call it the worst play call in history, that it was the worst outcome of a call in history. And I thought, you know what? He would have been a genius if he threw the ball and they caught it for the touchdown. Everybody would have said, oh my goodness, we thought Marshawn Lynch was going to get the ball. They faked out everybody. It just didn't work out that way. It was time for young boy, Malcolm Butler, to have his moment in the sun. The unfortunate part about this, people, who I think his story is great, he went from working at, the Popeyes window, and it's so funny. Okay, now we're going to add 2 cups of chicken stock. No, I'm sorry, 3 cups of chicken stock. I'm just all over the place today. Let me say 1, I love the Malcolm Butler story. The young fella came from working at the Popeyes, cashier window to making the game play, the biggest play, in Super Bowl history, if you will, especially in Tom Brady's career, because that took him from, is he the greatest of all time, to truly legendary with 4 rings. But Sweet Pea just was not ready at all. I mean, it's painful to watch him talk, and it's so sad because he's such a sweet kid, but it just makes you think, oh, instead of giving him the truck, Tom Brady, like maybe some diction classes or something. And no shade, I am not trying to crack jokes. I am just saying, some of our athletes, it is painful to watch them talk. I still cannot get that 2013 Heisman Trophy speech from Jameis Winston out of my head. I mean, oh my gosh. Okay, so then you're going to take 1.5 cups of peas and toss them in. Stir everything around. Make sure everything is nice and loose. We'll turn it down to, between like low and medium. You don't want it too high because you want it to cook low so your peas and your orzo cooks. And that's going to take a total of 20 minutes. But you want to stir it periodically, and at about 15 minutes in, right before it's almost done, we're going to add some tomatoes to it. We don't want them to cook too long because we want it to stay fresh. So cover that, let that sit for about 15 minutes. All right, let's check. That looks so good. You keep stirring up just to make sure nothing gets caught on the bottom and everything gets cooked nice and easily. All right, so here I have 1 cup of cherry tomatoes cut up, grape tomatoes, cherry tomatoes, whichever one you want. I like finding the smallest ones because, first of all, they're so tasty. And again, with the smaller pasta, it just works a little bit better. Okay, stir it up so there's nothing sticking to the bottom of the pan. Cover, and we're going to let it sit for about 5 more minutes. Make sure your heat is not up too high because you don't want it to cook too fast, and then your orzo will be crunchy instead of melting your mouth soft. We are done. Wow, that is just so pretty. All the colors. It makes you not feel so bad when you eat the sausage because you have peas in here and you have fresh tomatoes. It's so good. All right, you're like me, you always have to taste a little bit because there are times where you have to season to taste. Might need to add a little bit more Creole seasoning. I add just a dash more. Some of the chicken stock, cooked it out just a little bit. Give it a toss, and we're ready to eat. Thanks so much for joining us this week on Let's Cook, Let's Chat with India Sweet. Had a wonderful time with you talking Grammys, football, and making orzo New Orleans. I hope you try this recipe, and if you do, please, please let me know. You can email me at letscookletschat@gmail.com. You can always find me on my favorite Instagram at India Sweet, on Twitter, Indo Sweet Sports, and on Facebook, like my Facebook page to get this recipe and so much more on Facebook at India Sweet there too. I hope I see you guys here next week, Tuesdays, 11. New shows will be up right here on this channel. Before I say goodbye, I would just like to dedicate this show to my mom, my girl, Christine Murray, aka Vanilla. Along the way, as I mentioned, in this past year, I lost my #1 biggest fan, the one that always believed in me when I didn't believe in myself, that always told me I could reach for the stars and do anything I ever wanted to do. Mommy, I love you, and I will live the rest of my life trying to be half the mom you were and always, always make you proud. Till next week, guys. Bye.